Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Zazzle Chat. Today I have Peter here from Fanmade. You might remember him from our last episode. He talked about fan-inspired art, but we didn't really talk about Fanmade as much. So today we're going to catch up and give you guys an insight on what Fanmade is and how it plays into the Zazzle ecosystem, and how you guys can get started and can join the process. So, first of all, welcome, Peter.
Thank you.
Do you want to reintroduce yourself to our designers?
Sure. My name is Peter Tomasi, and I'm in charge of bringing fans, artists, and teams and brands together to make great artwork on fanmade.com.
Cool. That sounds like a fun job. You work a lot with the designers, kind of designer outreach.
That's right.
Cool. So, first of all, can you explain what Fanmade is and where Fanmade came from?
Sure. Well, before it was acquired by Zazzle, Fanmade was known as Coveroo, a company which had deep roots in sports licensing with partners such as Major League Baseball, National Basketball Association, Pro Hockey, as well as hundreds of colleges and universities. And Fanmade was really born of the idea that if you could marry fan-inspired art with some of the brands that we work with, we could create some really terrific products, and that's just what we're doing.
Cool. And I know that sports fans are some of the most, they really get involved, so I think that's a great vertical to start. I definitely know a lot of fanatic sports fans in a good sense, obviously. Okay, last week we talked about fan merchandise and fan created art. Since Zazzle already has kind of its own program, can you explain to us why do you think Zazzle bought Fanmade and kind of what the differences are there?
Sure. Well, Fanmade, unlike Zazzle, really focuses on the limited edition campaign. So our focus is on really not all the work in the universe, but the best work that our artists can bring to specific teams and brands. And in addition to that, to emphasize that, we actually create each campaign as a limited edition. So it actually has a start date and an end date that the artist, the designer, sets up. And we have a countdown to the end of that. And during that time, we also help the artist really intensively market that campaign, that limited edition, to create a sense of urgency in the market. We also think that the idea of a limited edition really reflects the kind of artwork we're getting, which it's often very time sensitive. As you know, sports are seasonal. So Right now we're getting psyched for football season. We're in the middle of baseball season, but we're not necessarily following hockey and basketball. And the buying patterns on fanmade.com will be similar, and we're really looking for that limited edition that captures where are we in terms of seasonality for the different teams, different sports, playoffs, etc.
Cool. So again, it's a little more it's different than Zazzle, and there's a time-based, and where Zazzle is more evergreen. I think once it's published on your product, as long as we have that product, it's in your store. On this, what's the minimum time requirement and the maximum time requirement on Fanmade?
Sure. You can set it for your campaign to expire in 10 days to 60 days. And you can actually apply to have it relaunch as well. And when it relaunches, it'll actually go through a short review process. So it's really up to the designer to specify how much urgency they want to put in the campaign and how limited it will be. The designer can also set the price as well.
Cool. So again, same as Zazzle, you can set your own price. You get, I think it is different though in that the more you sell, the different royalty rates are. So I think you just have to read about that on fanmade.com.
That's correct. During our beta, you'll get a flat 18% margin, but that will change over time with scale.
Cool. Let's talk about the products that you guys have on Fanmade currently.
Sure. So we've really chosen to focus on two products that gets fans really excited. First are t-shirts. The second are mobile electronics cases. And one of the reasons we've chosen to focus there is that we know that we can get the scale that we need and also the very quick approval from brands when we're submitting artwork that is official fan art, that wants to be official fan art, if you will. So we chose those 2 product areas. We'll be expanding into some other product areas over time. And all of our products are printed with the same care and quality that Zazzle products are printed.
Cool. So tell us, if our designers want to get involved, how do they get involved today?
Well, today I really want them to do 2 things. One is we want to invite Zazzle designers to bring some of your best artwork and create a campaign. So you go to fanmade.com and click Get Started, and you can quickly create a campaign using existing artwork. We also have a library of 100,000 vector art images that you can work with, manipulate of no additional cost to you, and they can become part of your campaign. In addition, if you're interested, we also have the Artist Partner Program. And this is where Zazzle artists can interact with the teams and brand logos as when they go to upload and create a new campaign. It's by invitation only, but if you go to fanmade.com/apply and enter your Zazzle store name, that'll indicate to our artist relations team that they should go and take a look at your portfolio and consider you for the program. And the program is by invite only. But we're really looking forward to seeing Zazzle artists work on the site.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned that in your design tool, you provide vector art. So can they just use that vector art, or can they bring their own artwork in there as well?
Either or. They can bring wholly their own work, or they can create a t-shirt or phone case using all of our vector images, fonts, colors, etc., or a combination of the 2. So really a lot of options there. Really just about any, and part of the reason we did that is we also wanted to give ordinary fans who aren't necessarily designers the ability to create a concept t-shirt using a basic design tool. So whether you want to work on our tool or work offline in your tool of choice, the platform accommodates both of those.
We keep talking about the design tool. Is it the same as Zazzle, or is it a separate design tool, and how does that work?
It's a separate design tool that really has been optimized for t-shirts and phone cases, and really optimized around that idea of combining your artwork with our existing vector library if you want. So it's a little bit different than the Zazzle tool.
I've played around with it, and I play around with our tool, obviously. I think they're both pretty intuitive. I would actually say Fanmade's is really intuitive. But if they have any questions, is there a place they can go to find help to that?
Absolutely. There's a contact us link on the Fanmade homepage that they can click, and we actually have a dedicated staff just for artist relations, so we can get back to them pretty quickly. Particularly during beta, I'd encourage folks to come and give us feedback or ask us questions if they have them. I think Zazzle designers are really going to be an instrumental part of how we shape the program going forward.
Cool. Well, this sounds like a really cool opportunity for designers. If you tuned in last week, again, it's like official brands. They have great license with a lot of sports teams and collegiate teams. Let's recap what the next steps would be for designers if that's something they're interested in.
Sure. First thing, again, go to fanmade.com, click Get Started, and you can create a campaign in minutes, particularly if you already have some existing artwork you think will work well on a t-shirt or phone case. So I would go ahead and do that, upload your best work. It'll go into a very short approval queue, but an actual person looks at it to make sure it meets all of our guidelines. And then if you're interested, apply for our Artist Partner Program. And there we just ask you a few questions, a link to your portfolio or your Zazzle store is required so we can take a look at your work. And then you'll soon receive an invitation to actually go back into the program, and we'll invite you to create some brand-oriented work if your stuff meets our standards.
And one thing I forgot, obviously as designers, you're passionate about it, but in the end, let's talk about brass tacks. Is the payment system the same as Zazzle, or is it separate?
Separate payment system.
Okay, just so you're clear, you'd have to go through another process and sign up with Fanmade to kind of via PayPal, I believe.
It is PayPal. During beta, it'll be just PayPal. So
Okay.
you can go up and you have to actually have to enter some additional information to make sure you get paid as a seller. But we'll explain all that to you.
Yeah, so just so you know, even though it is Fanmade is a Zazzle company, the payment systems are currently separate. You will get paid, don't worry. But make sure you follow that and kind of get verification on that side. And you're not going to see it via your Zazzle account. Cool. Well, this is such a fun program. I hope you designers are excited about it, especially if you're sports fans, sports fanatics, your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister. I think this is a great, fun thing to do. And we're excited to kind of be starting this. So go check out fanmade.com and we'll see you next week.